to 3 Quirks and a Turk at 89.3 FM.
This is my station.
Action.
It's just insane and I love it.
Entertainment.
Hey guys, it's Selena Gomez.
Hey, this is Ed Sheeran.
Hey guys, it's Taylor Swift.
Entrepreneurs.
You need to learn this business, and this is the time to do it.
And empowerment.
Become an insider, so you have to know the rules before you get in the game.
It's Friday.
I can't believe that it's Freaky Friday.
Why be moody? Shake that booty and tune in to the voice of the continent.
You're tuning in with the 3 Quirks and a Turk at 89.3 FM. Boys, welcome back to the 3 Quirks and Turk at 89.3 FM. How you all doing today?
Yeah, really good, mate. Yourself?
Good. Nathan, how are you? Long trip here?
Oh, mate, don't get me started.
Why not, mate? Tell us about public transport. You're having the shit with the public transport, right?
I have nothing good to say about it.
Why is
today.
that, mate? Chris said, I've got his hotline number right here, so tell me, what's the story?
Give me his personal number. I got, nah. Just a bit of a mission.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why is that? Is it the train wasn't working for you, or?
Oh, yeah, but it's Friday, right?
It's Friday.
That's what it is.
You can shake your booty.
And I'm here, man.
You're here?
Let's do it.
That's the main thing. Awesome. Justin's joining us as well, 89.3 FM. How you doing, brother?
Good. How you been? It's been a long time since I've been here.
Yes. So we're going to have the 3 brothers here today. We're going to have a chat about what? Health, dating, and transport.
No transport,
No
but everything
transport?
else, yeah.
So, Justin, tell us a bit about what you're doing, because I noticed that you actually do podcasting now. How's that going for you?
It's going great. So I've done about 12 episodes so far.
Yeah.
So the podcast is called The Path Talk Show.
Okay.
So I get a lot of high achievers on there and just share their inspiring stories and dive deep into topics they usually don't speak about.
So when you say high achievers, what are they achieving and why are they so high?
So, for example, I speak to a lot of like high athletes who've accomplished a lot. Like, for example, one of them was a Commonwealth Games champion, World Cup champion, and I've also had successful entrepreneurs and other successful people that do a lot of like big things. Like for 2 episodes ago, I had Richard Norton.
Yeah.
So if you don't know him, he is Chuck Norris's best friend, and he was his best man at his wedding.
Wow.
Yeah. So
how did you score that?
So when I was getting introduced to the acting world, I started doing extras work, and I met a guy who done the effects for The Matrix and Star Wars and all those big productions, and he is also a BJJ black belt.
Oh.
And he was well connected with Richard Norton. So he said, if you want to get into the acting world, I highly recommend you speak to this guy. He was like Chuck Norris's best man at his wedding.
Right.
So I ended up reaching out to him, told him I knew Davey, who is the effects guy, and he ended up reaching out to me and gave me a phone call. Gave me great advice, and not so long after, I said, you should jump on my podcast, and we arranged it when I was down in Melbourne.
Wow. I've met Richard Norton. Richard Norton I did a reality TV called Action Star. So Richard Norton was here to officially open that for us. So with the Action Star, we had like contestants around Australia. We were all coming together. We went to Queensland for like a stunt school.
Yep.
We went abseiling down to Queensland, and then we went to a few places and we filmed these action stars. We put them through a lot of challenges. So Richard Norton was part of that. And a few other celebrities, martial artists as well. So it's a very small world. Mm-hmm. So in terms of what you're doing, right, how are you actually getting the message out there to these high achievers? Now, are they doing something to give back, or are they selling their podcast, or what are they doing in that space to give back and help out, Justin?
For me, it's about storytelling.
Yeah.
And I feel a lot of people since the tribal ages, we always connected to stories. Mm-hmm. And I find people can resonate a lot through the earlier stages of these guys' stories. Okay. And from there, maybe they have experienced similar stuff that they did with the entrepreneur or the famous boxer or Richard Norton, for example, that they can relate to and follow a similar guide, but every way, in every form, your own path is paved, right?
Yeah.
And there's no set path, but as long as you can follow that path that is right for you.
Yeah. Because I know that podcasting, and Nathan, you would vouch for this as well, right? There's so many podcasting out there, and for your podcast to be successful, you've got to do something totally different, right? Totally different. So Nathan, you're a muso as well. Do you use Spotify to get your music out there? What's your situation there in that space?
Yeah, Spotify is one thing, and then obviously if you want to take it that little bit further, you got to have a full marketing team behind it that can put it in the right places, let the right people see it, and then it's a snowball effect. It's like anything.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to be seen, you want to be heard, and get it out there, you got to flood the market.
Yeah. And you're flooding the market because I know you actually went over to the LA, right? So for Hollywood. No, did you?
I'm heading on the 5th.
On the 5th.
All of September.
So why are you doing that? So you feel that in Australia the market is too small for the film industry?
No, not at all. Just just had an opportunity. I'm gonna hit the ground running and do it to the best of my ability and see where it takes me.
Beautiful.
Been manifesting it for years, so if it's meant to be, it's meant to be, but I'm definitely going to do my best.
Yeah. And you're involved with a particular US production as well at the moment? Can we discuss about that on air?
Not this one.
No?
Not yet.
Not yet.
But there's plenty happening.
Yeah. Oh, Australia's a great place now because the US are coming over to Australia doing film productions and all that. So every single week there's always something happening in Australia because I think our government, one thing they did right is giving tax initiative for the US, Hollywood, to come over here to make films over here. And because of that, the industry is kind of busy. It's creating local jobs for us creative people, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, the best thing is now that we've got all these platforms, like all these streaming platforms, now it's all about content. So it allows, there's so much more work out there, especially for up-and-coming actors. It's not just you get 4 blockbusters a year that gets played in the cinema and everything else is just TV shows. Now it's just content after content. So everyone's got an opportunity to kind of, be seen.
Another saying is like, eyeballs are the new currency. Right, so the more eyeballs we can engage in our content, the more people are going to stick around and watch your content. But the pace is going so fast now, it's crazy when you think about it. Like when you see TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, people's attention span has actually gone shorter over time as well.
The struggle is real, man.
Yeah.
You really put all your effort into it. You end up just living in that world, and you come back to reality. You're like, what's going on? You go into that vortex.
Yeah, well, look, I had this conversation with a lot of people, right? And the fear is that we're beginning to lose that humanity of who we are.
Agreed.
We don't even appreciate the fact that we can walk down a street and hug a fucking tree. Yeah, excuse the language, boys. I'm so passionate about that topic.
You really love trees, don't you?
I love trees, mate. I love to hug trees, mate. But you know what my point? My point is that these days people are on their phone from morning to night. They're not even out there in the real world just to talk, have a coffee, and go about riding a bike. You don't see that no more. And then you wonder why we're having so much anxiety and depression in the society these days.
Yeah, everything's just right in your face, pretty much telling you and showing you what you don't have.
Yeah,
and then when you see it, you go, I want it, without doing the work.
That's correct.
100%.
You know, like it's that fails to see that. It's just visually, oh, that's cool. So-and-so's got that. I'm going to idolize them. I want that.
Yeah.
When you don't, you get depressed. Oh, why isn't it happening for me? You got to do the work.
That's right. You got to put in the work. You work hard. You get the reward. But these days, they don't want to work hard, yet they want the rewards. So I feel like the social media is not really doing anyone justice at all, right?
No. It's in every element, whether it's health, whether it's success. It's everyone wants a quick fix. What's the pill I can take to get me there?
Correct.
I agree. And it's just depending on how you use social media at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You can use it as a productive tool, or a lot of people just use it for reactions, and they lower their dopamine levels just by watching all this content and just get consumed by it.
Yeah.
But I think I loved about Germany, and when I was in Poland as well, not many people were on their phones as much.
Really?
And when I was going to the park, everyone was having a picnic and just enjoying each other's time.
That is so good.
Yeah.
That was so good.
Here, you would just see them on their phone, just going for a walk, not seeing where they're going.
Even in the city, you know those new trams? I see these people walking on the phone. How many times do you think there's a tram there and they narrowly miss them because they're on the bloody phone?
You just walk through them now.
Ridiculous.
Don't even say anything, just...
Yeah, ridiculous, mate. You're tuning in with me. 3 Quirks, 89.3 FM. Let's get Candy Station, Suspicious Mind. We're still definitely having fun. You are tuning in with the 3 Quirks and Turk at 89.3 FM. I have Justin here and Nathan Bates in the house. So we are talking about single and we're ready to bloody mingle, right, Nathan?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's hit the road. But look, Justin cannot join this conversation because he's just hooked up. He's been with someone for 5 months. What's the landscape looking like for you, mate? Is it love at first sight for you, or is it lust at first sight?
Well, I felt this one felt kind of different to other relationships I've been in, or even just going on a date.
Yeah.
Where a lot of other girls were quite defects in a way, where there were a lot of problems in the date, and I picked up a lot of red flags. Once I start picking up red flags, I know this person's not for me.
Yeah.
And usually I end it within the second date or third date max.
All right. It's interesting you mentioned the word defects, because it's very interesting. Nathan and I were just cracking laughing here with the word defects, right? I guess you're right in the sense that these days we're talking about social media, right? For me, a red flag would be someone who's on social media in a bikini, or showing the tits, wiggling up and down. To me, that's a red flag right there. There's no way that I would date anyone like that. Because these days you're looking at people. It's like a hookup society, right? Everyone's just hooking up with everyone, and social media makes it so easy for you to DM someone and then you hook up. So, and then you get a lot of ladies who are then saying, "I want a commitment." How is you want a commitment when you're on bloody social media, flopping your tits out, dancing up and down, and getting other people's validation? So what kind of relationship do you want? If you do that, then you're getting guys who just wants to bang you, and that's it. They don't want no commitment from you. Is that right, Nathan?
I agree. But like, each their own. It's always going to appeal to somebody. Me personally, I don't ever judge anyone by what they wear, what they do. As I said, if it's not for me, it's not for me, but it's for somebody else. You know, like, I'll pass that, I'll swipe left on that bad boy and move on forward. What was that?
That was a horror. That was a dating horror right there. Because, like, the truth of the matter is, right, we're not judging. That's correct. But I'm saying from a person who's single, that wouldn't be the criteria. That would be the person that I want to invest or waste my time. Do you know what I mean? Like recently, I met this wonderful girl. You look at her, she's a stunner, she's this and that. We went out and everything, that was fine. And then she tells me, "David, just to let you know that I sleep around." I'm like, "What the? You sleep around?" Well, she tells me right up front, she goes, "I sleep around." So just to let you know that you don't get upset. But I'm thinking, I had the shits in the beginning, but then I think, no, actually, thank you for telling me that. Thank you for being honest. At least I know who you are and I know how to treat you now. I'm not going to waste my time with you, but at least I know where I stand with you.
Yeah.
Then investing 5 months into it, later on you find out she's cheated on you or she's been with this guy and that guy, but you didn't know that. So wouldn't you, Nathan, wouldn't you rather a woman who's been honest with you up front, who she is and what she is?
Absolutely. Honesty is key.
Yeah.
You know, last thing you want to do is like, it's all based on honesty. Anything other than that is just living a lie, right? Like,
Correct.
And then when you hear it, you're just like, what happened? And you're devastated.
Yeah.
It's not fair.
That's right. So tell me, what's this landscape look like? Because I know one of your friends was meant to be in here today, and he actually designed an app, right? And that app was called Love License. So Love License is about helping couples to manage the time and being together. I'm assuming that's what it is, right?
I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
That's the first I heard, actually. He's a friend. And
I thought that's interesting.
So,
I thought it's interesting because there's so many apps out there that's about dating. Dating left, right, and all that. But this culture now in terms of dating, to me, I just feel like it's a hookup culture. There is no commitment, there's no loyalty, there's no love there. So why bother waste your time with love? And I feel sorry for people who are dating out there and looking for love.
Yeah. So with this app, is it more for looking for love or looking to date, or is it you're already dating and you're looking to make priorities within a relationship?
I think from his bio, it says Love License helps couples strengthen their relationship.
Okay, so you're already in a relationship.
Yeah, so you're already in a relationship. This is
management.
Mike Dawes, right? So that's his app. So I thought that's an interesting conversation because there's so many apps out there that's helping people how to find a connection. Whereas this one is helping people who already been in a relationship to build the relationship, to make it stronger so they don't go through divorce or breakup.
Like the apps, 100%, they're all about what you want to get out of it. If you want to filter through what's not right for you, I've got a lot of good mates that have got married from it and they're happy as hell. You know, it just definitely makes it easy, especially for somebody like me. I'm not saying I use the apps, but like doesn't go out partying, drinking. You know, if I ever wanted to, I could make it easier, right? But I'm not saying I do, but yeah,
I get that. And I don't know if you read a book called Mastery by Robert R. Greene.
No, I haven't. No.
So he was talking about this thing where a lot of people that are already in relationships or just started dating, when they're actually spending time with their partners, they're not really there with them in present. They're on their phones and just watching TV. They're not
Correct.
spending good quality time, and they're comparing this guy who is on his phone for 5 hours,
Yeah.
and this one person who spent 1 hour being present with their partner.
Wow.
Who was more satisfied?
Wow. 1 hour.
Well, yeah. Again,
That's better than nothing.
Exactly.
Well, that's society, like what we we're talking about before in the break. Like people have lost that human touch, that
Yeah.
interaction, how to talk, right? As I said, like most people just want to text. Like our generations, like we're talkers. Like, hey, we got something to say, you call.
Yeah.
Right? But when you lose that social interaction, the hardest thing, first date, now you're at a table together. You panic.
Yeah.
Like, what do you say? And it's straight to the phone, old fail safe, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's like a security blanket.
They text so fast. When I'm talking to some of the girls, right, they're texting so freaking fast. Like, bang, bang, bang. It's like within 20, 30 words within a minute. Here I'm trying to text 1, 2, 3, 4 back. And by the time I finish that, now 30, 40 words
Messages.
in their message. I'm thinking, how the hell can you text that
Well,
fast?
see, that's the problem. Like, you end up spending too much time on
Correct.
the phone. Like, oh shit, I've
Pick
got
up the
another
phone.
message. It's like you can actually do it while you're driving.
Yeah, why don't you just
have a
pick up the
convo.
phone and talk? But these days, there's a fear of actually talking, and there's a fear of actually sitting there and engaging with people. They rather use the social media or use their phone. That's their way of communicating. To me, that's not
Yeah, it's that,
relationship. man.
that social interaction. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like it's very much lacking.
But I think that's what separates you as a man, like especially if you are dating, being a solid communicator.
Yeah.
If you can be a solid communicator, it's going to help you become more attractive to women.
Yes.
And
Okay. Do you mean like being a communicator as in like communicating what you want?
Yeah, exactly.
Being very firm and assertive?
Yeah. And
Okay.
being able to have those boundaries set.
Okay.
And be able to know exactly what you want in a relationship as well what you want in life.
Funny you said that because you said setting boundaries, right? So a lot of people don't set boundaries in a relationship and they settle for second best. And then they wonder why they meet a guy or girl, a month or two later, they either broke up, they're divorced, or they're not talking together because they don't have boundaries, right? So you're saying that we should have boundaries and we shouldn't settle for second best.
Yeah, and again,
True.
that's the problem with the apps too. Like again, what we was talking about before, it's like the grass is always greener.
Yeah.
You know, generations, right?
Yeah.
Like, as soon as something happens or you see something better, you're now fixated on that.
Yeah.
And that'll creep into your relationship subconsciously, and then you got all the you got social media, you got the dating apps.
Yeah. It's
Something
true.
will pop up. You go, oh, that's actually better.
That's true. No, that's a valid point. That's a valid point. So what's your ideal woman, guys? Like, what do you look for in a woman, Justin?
Well, I think the big one is like being a solid communicator is one.
Yeah.
Obviously, I have to be physically attracted to
Yeah.
who I'm dating. And someone who has more family-based values and that will support me in the journey no matter how difficult it may get.
Yeah.
And as long as I can get those things, I know I can settle down in that right relationship because, especially you boys know, because we're high achievers, we want to succeed in life. You want someone there by your side to support you, even though they might go through their own journey, but they're with you on the ride. And that's such a big thing for me.
Yeah.
You can't. Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, thanks for that. Nathan?
Yeah, definitely. You want somebody that's basically a cheerleader, you know, and it goes both ways. Like you want to be excited for them to achieve stuff, and you want them to win as much as they want you to win. Somebody that's happy, chooses positivity over drama, prefers the morning coffee to a late night party. Just those simple things that can kind of like. There's so much you can achieve.
Yeah.
If everyone just needs one person that can support you and say you can do this. If that's your girl, then you're destined for greatness.
Wow.
Right? If you wake up to a positivity, no drama, the choices are endless.
But you know how you say that you are both high value men, right? Now let's have a scenario where you're dating someone who's not high value, but they support your journey. But then the issue then is you always constantly got to lift the woman up all the time because she's not high value, but she's got the criteria you want. She's your cheerleader. She supports you. She doesn't sleep around. She's honest with you. But it will get to a point where she will not step up. So how would you deal with that? And this is a real life situation. How would you deal with that? Just how would you deal with that?
Okay, so I'm going to use one of my friends for an example because he went through this situation where this girl was everything he'd asked for,
Yeah.
but obviously wasn't as high value, didn't educate herself as much as he did. And eventually down the line, he needed to move away from the relationship just to figure out things. And down the process, he ended up meeting someone else who had similar values, but obviously had her own little things that she needed to work through. And from there, she is trying to do everything to step up to be with him, as well as supporting him in the journey in terms of being a high value woman, as well as he's a high value man. And now he recently got married. He's living in Dubai with her, and they're living a more happier lifestyle.
Okay.
So everyone can take their own different approach to it, but I think it just comes down to your own perspective of it.
Nathan?
Yeah. I consider positivity as like a priceless trait.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't have to be a lawyer, earn heaps of money, you know? Like, I don't care if the girl works at McDonald's.
Yeah.
As long as there's some positivity that can just prop you up, you know, as long as they're not doing any negative comments to bring you down, double guess your decisions and where you're going on your journey.
Yeah.
Positivity, as I said, like money's money. I don't do anything for the sake of money. It's all happiness.
Yeah. It's funny you say money because that's another issue. What I found these days is a lot of young girls these days chase the money. I see a lot of memes out there. They want to date old men now because they're ATM. I see a lot of that now, right? And I'm thinking it's pretty sad to see that our culture these days, instead of young people working hard for their money, having a career, instead of doing that, they rather chase old men, date old men because they know old men's retired, they got money, and they're ATM. What's your thoughts about that? Because I think that's freaking disgusting.
Yeah.
What's the culture turning into? What's this world turning into? Where young girls who want to look good, who want to travel the world, who don't want to get off their ass and work, but they want to find old men to marry old men because of their money.
Can I chuck and jump in on this
You
one?
jump on, I'll jump in next.
Another topic that we, again, will touch on is that everyone sees all these things on social media, you know, the things that they don't have.
Yeah.
All the money, all the fortune, all the fame and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But they fail to see the hard work that goes into it. But they see it, then they idolize that person, or they're just like, I want it, but I want it now.
Yeah.
Without putting in the hard work. They want the quick fix, whether it's health, whether it's weight loss. I want a pill that it can get it all off and move forward, and I need all this. And if I can't have it now, I'm going to go to somebody that has it.
That's right.
And can live through them without putting in the hard work. And that's the downfall of society. People do not want to put in the work.
Yeah, they don't. They want to take shortcuts instead of working hard.
And make up excuses.
Yes,
like, woe is me, the back sore or stuff like that.
That's right.
It's like,
there's always excuses for everything.
Yeah.
Everything's excuses for them these days.
I mean, obviously it's not always like that, but as a majority, there's always something you can do. Like after my surgery, bicep, shoulder, it's ruined. Like aesthetically, it looks terrible, but there's always something I can do.
Yeah.
I'll go to the gym, train my left arm. You know, I'm not going to sit back, woe is me. There's always something you can be is proactive.
So your right arm is not good at all now.
Oh, man, it'll get better, but over time. But I just don't think about it. I just focus on what I can do and move forward.
Yeah.
That's a good one, because like a lot of people tend to fall short to just dating sugar daddies or sugar mamas, right?
Yeah.
And it's quite interesting that you say that too, because now women are actually making more money than men, especially once they create their own OnlyFans account.
Yeah, we haven't touched on that.
Yeah, we haven't touched on that
So
yet.
they're selling their soul to the devil, basically,
Literally.
for fame, for money.
For the quick amount of money,
That's it. And these girls are making over $100,000 to $1 million a month sometimes, just being able to put their body online.
Wow.
And doing strange stuff like selling bath water with them going into the bath, selling their farts, or different weird things that people have fetish for.
Yeah. But if say I would say your girlfriend turns around and say to you, you know, Justin, there's a secret I've been telling you. I've got my OnlyFans. Every Thursday night I jump on there, I strip down so other men can look at me. Would you still stay with that woman?
Nope.
No,
not for me.
This early in the relationship, definitely not. But imagine if you were married and you had kids with her.
Yeah, and you still would stay with her?
We need to have serious discussion. Like,
Where's
I
your
wouldn't want
boundary?
to.
Yeah, where's your boundary right there?
I woun't want to.
Yeah.
But like, imagine if you had kids with her.
Well,
and when you had married.
I'll walk.
I'd walk. I think we'd all walk.
Because she's making that's the boundary right there.
But for me, if that was this on early on in the relationship, I would just leave.
Yeah.
That's to be truthful. Or even just a year or 10 years. But it's interesting when you think about it when you're married and you have kids.
Yeah, but then I know what you're saying, but you have kids. But the fact is that she already stepped beyond the boundary.
Yeah.
All right,
100%.
And the fact that she's bringing kids into the world with you.
Yeah.
And she's deceiving, and she haven't told you this yet. She every single Thursday she's stripping naked so other men get validation. Other men, mate, baby, there's the front door. Don't bloody come back.
Yeah, little lie, big lie.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
it's the tip of
That's
the
right.
iceberg.
That's right. Let's hit it up. All fired up. This is 89.3 FM. You're tuning in with the City Quirks with Dirk, with Nathan Bates and Justin Holland. Let's all fire up. You're tuning in with the Three Quirks and the Turk at 89.3 FM. That was Madonna versus David Guetta Reviver One Love remix. And I believe that there's One Love remix in the studio at 89.3 FM. Talking about the Olympics, boys. The Aussies, I can say we're so proud of the Aussies, right?
Oh, 100%. And for a fact, females won the most medals out of like even the men in terms of the Australian team, and I'm pretty sure we came third or fourth overall.
We came
as a team.
fourth. We came fourth overall.
That's the best we ever done.
Really? I thought we could actually do
longest time.
better than that. I thought we just come up in third or something.
No, this is like the most amount of medals we've won in a very long time. So, plus Russia is out as well. They usually accumulate some medals as well.
So,
but it came to our advantage to be able to win more medals.
Well, the United States got 40 gold.
Yes.
China's got 40 gold. Japan got 20 gold. And Australia 18 gold.
China back on the gear again, are they?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. And then silver, United is 44. China is 27. Japan is 12. And Oz is 19. I would have expected China, like Australia, to be after at least China, but Japan is beating us. I'm surprised, man.
Well, per capita, we're well and truly on top.
Yeah,
definitely.
Athletes to amount of people, right?
Yeah.
Like,
so we got more athletes, all right?
Yeah.
Well,
7 of the gold medals from Japan come from wrestling.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Oh,
so
so they're
that
good
would
at
have
wrestling.
brought us past, Japan went way past with the wrestling. That helped them get most of their medals.
So they're good at wrestling.
They're very good at wrestling.
Okay. So did you watch the Olympics? What's your thoughts about the Olympics?
I watched little bits of it when I had time. More track and field because that's what I did as a kid.
Okay. I like that too. I like the
up
track.
until like 15, 16 before I left school and found the party scene.
Oh, mate.
Yeah, but more track and field just because I understand it more.
Yeah. I like the swimming as well.
Yeah.
Oh, and the diving.
That's great.
Oh, I felt so bad for that English 100-meter sprinter that just broke start.
Sheesh.
And he's
disqualified.
gone. Man, heartbreaking.
Oh, mate. They're training for 4 years. And that happens,
I
right?
felt so bad
It
for him.
happens.
Oh.
What about that girl who was running with the Spain flag? She was celebrating early, and then I think it was English girl, just ran straight past her in the dying second. So she was winning gold, and then she just lost.
Is that long distance? Or?
Long distance.
Oh,
That
got a flag off somebody running up the final
Yes, and
stretch.
she was just running with the Spain flag, cheering, singing while she was running. She was way ahead of the pack.
Well,
and then this girl just slightly just went past her.
overconfidence, mate.
That's it.
Overconfidence.
That's
Teach
it.
her right, mate. At least run over the line first, then celebrate, right?
Yes, I agree.
Jeez. So what's your thoughts about, like, in terms of sports, right? In Australia, I guess in many ways we love our sports, right? Do you think that we focus too much on sports and not enough education? Because there's a report coming out that we're actually falling behind in terms of education.
I think
Maths and
we're
English.
falling behind in both, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because now they're saying a lot of the future generation of athletes are quite small compared to what it used to be.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because obviously a lot of people want to be YouTubers now and want to be influencers, and it's harder for parents to get their kids into sport.
Yeah.
And I was just recently reading an article on it.
Wow.
But I'm hoping, for a matter of fact, that they can be good at both in education as well as sports. But yeah, I won't really bring up my opinion about the education scene.
Love to hear it. I can tell you what I think of it. I would love to hear your opinion, though.
Just with a lot of the things that are happening at the moment, I think it's not relevant to the education system. And it's misguiding children towards the wrong directions.
Correct. Yeah.
Without mentioning certain things.
Yeah, I understand.
Yes.
I understand that.
I think there should be, definitely more emphasis on sport, right? Like healthy body, healthy mind, right?
Yeah.
And if that's more, more of a consistent thing, you are going to be a smarter person, right? Like you're going to have that social interaction. You're going to be fitter. You're not going to fall unhealthy where you just fall into negative. Firstly, bullying, that'll happen. You end up just getting lazy and just sitting down. Then you end up on the computer scrolling. Sport for me was pretty much my lifeline. My ADHD as a kid, parents are like, nah, we're not going to get him on meds. Get him into every single sport. I still, to this day, have to wear myself out each day to get like a solid night's sleep.
Really?
But it's a blessing and a blessing and a curse.
Even at your age, you still got to wear yourself out to go to bed.
Yeah, it's just my routine. Like I like to be as productive as possible each day.
Jeez.
I can relate to your story a lot too, because like you having ADHD, for me as a kid, I had dyslexia and a speech impairment. Mm-hmm. So I struggled to be able to communicate with other children, and sports was a saver for me to be able to connect with people and communicate, and help my communication skills, helped me more with education, because it taught me anyways, you have to try to be the best you can be as a sportsman, because I always wanted to win the gold. And because I had that mentality, it helped me focus more on school in terms of getting more good grades.
Yeah, like sport builds confidence. I totally agree with you. Sport builds confidence not just in yourself, but like socially.
Yeah.
You got that friend, you got that endorphin kick, you got that dopamine, you got everything positive that you won't get sitting down, but you're getting it naturally instead of like externally through something visual.
Yes.
You're actually doing the work. And that, as a kid, that sets you up for life, right? You know that, hey, if I work hard at sport, I can get to this. Okay, well, maybe if you channeled that energy into education, you know what hard work is. You have that template, that blueprint on how to succeed.
Do you feel that people don't actually go out there a lot these days and get involved in sports? They're too much on their social media or playing games?
It depends. It all filters down from the parents. If you got to lead by example. If you're an active, dad, mum, uncle, sister, whatever, like they will idolize you. If you keep that whole positive aura. That's exactly what I do for my nieces and nephews.
Okay.
Like you always, as I said, lead by example. Show them that you can do things if you put the hard work in, especially sport. They all play sport. Yeah, they're on their phones all the time, but it's good to have that happy medium.
Yeah, it kind of made me think of a meme. It was a meme of this fat coach just talking on the sideline, and there was a picture of Mike Tyson being lean and muscly.
Yeah.
You can be that coach that's on the sideline, or be that coach who works in with his athletes, and that's equivalent to being a good parent as well. Like you said, like you want to be able to lead by example and showing them how you have to do it by doing it yourself. And I think that that's a big thing. And like you said, you become like their superheroes at the end of the day, and we all look for a superhero.
You mentioned superhero. Who's your favorite superhero? Why, Justin?
Ooh. Okay. I've had a few over the years.
Yeah.
My first one was a comedian named Mr. Bean.
Is he a superhero?
He's not a superhero, but I looked up to him like a superhero.
You look up to Mr. Bean, really?
Yeah, I did.
Why?
I wore his suit, his tie,
kidding?
everything. Because obviously I said I had dyslexia and a speech impairment. I struggled to connect with people. Mr. Bean was the same.
Wow, okay.
And I related to him, and I truly connected to him. And then after that, I connected to Batman.
Yeah.
Followed by Spider-Man.
Okay. But you can choose one. Who's your superhero?
I'd have to say Batman.
Batman.
Because of how intelligent he is. He's the world's greatest detective, and he's human too.
Okay.
He's the only superhero that isn't meta-human.
Oh, there's another one.
There's another one? That's the best one I can think of.
What about
Iron Man?
Iron Man?
Him too.
Yeah. Nathan?
My favourite superheroes won't be fictional.
Yeah.
They'll be real life superheroes.
Oh, wow.
Like people that have pretty much gone to the depths of hell mentally, gone from all the way at the bottom of, you can possibly get.
Yeah.
And built themselves up, completely cleaned themselves up, and now thrive.
Wow.
I love that.
So I look up to people You know, like Steve-O from Jackass, people like Eminem. There's a couple more that just, as I said, they're in that scene. That goes so dark.
Yeah. Russell Brand's, the guy from Even Stevens.
All those people,
guys,
man. I look up to them, you know, because it's so easy
Yeah.
with all the money in the world to be, you know, drawn down that line. But
true.
having a problem with it
Yeah.
and then getting out of it, and then so many people see that, and it's so positive, man. Like, it's just they're real life superheroes to me, whether you like them or
That
not
is-
as people. What
yeah.
they've done is next level.
That is very true, and I see a lot of those guys are actually having the same common interest of turning to faith as well.
Yeah.
Which is the big game changer for them to be able to evolve as an individual. It makes them more inspiring.
Love that, love that. You're
Yeah.
tuning in
Lead
with
by
the
example.
3 Quirks
Exactly,
at
by example.
89.3 FM. Let's get Nikki Starships.
Let's go to the.
I think it's a good idea.
You're tuning in with 3 Quirks and a Turk at 89.3 FM, and that is Taylor Swift Love Story. And it's funny how every guy she dates, she breaks up and she writes a bloody love story about the guy. I mean, that's so pathetic, man, you know? If I was dating her, I'd be like, leave me alone. I do not want you to write a song about me, man, you know? We broke up for a reason. You're a lunatic and I don't want to date you, and that's the reason why.
I like her.
You serious, man? She's a psycho herself.
Nah,
I
just
think.
psycho boyfriends, I reckon.
No, I reckon she's a psycho. I mean, that leads to our conversation about social pressure, how hard it is to live in this world of 2024, and the challenges, the dating scene, the working scene, the whole landscape. How challenging is it, Nathan, your thoughts about the social impact in our world these days?
Yeah, well, it's definitely got its struggles 100%, and everything kind of feeds into itself. Like, it's like a domino effect, right?
Yeah.
So if you don't like your job, you're going to be depressed. You're going to go for that negative way of disassociating from it, which ends up being at the pub, which causes, you know, depression, which feeds into everything else, poor health. And then, and then you throw all those other variables such as...
Relationship as well. Finding a girlfriend, a future wife, how challenging is that as well?
Yeah,
You know what I
I mean, it doesn't have to be that tough when you start kind of narrowing in on the things that don't work for you. Because that's one of my analogies, one of my things that I tell people. Life's all about figuring out what you don't need and what you don't want.
Interesting. Okay.
Right? You go through life finding out what you don't. Well, you try it, you give it a go. Like, try everything, no regrets.
Yeah.
But once you realise that it's not right for you and it doesn't work for you, it's only a problem. And you if you stick to it and you don't change it.
Okay.
If you change it, you work on it, you keep moving forward, onwards and upwards.
Yeah.
That's how you get through society these days.
What really gives me the tick and the talk at the moment is that there's no commitment. To me, I just feel like there's no loyalty, there's no commitment. But yet these are the people that's not doing that, but yet they expect that in return. It's like it's always take. But it goes both ways, right? If you want commitment, you want loyalty, then you need to give that out to people before they commit and be loyal to you, right? And I found a lot of people don't have that these days. It's all about me. A lot of narcissist society out there, and I feel sorry for the next generation. They're struggling through work. Everybody wants everything fast. They want big cars. They want to travel the world. But who's funding all this? They're not working hard for it. So who's funding all this, you know? And that's the thing that I have issues with at the moment as well.
Sugar daddies.
Sugar
They're
daddy,
funding it.
Mr. ATM, Mr.
it.
ATM, you know?
Sugar mamas.
Where is the integrity? Where's the honesty in that? You know what I mean? Some chicks that tells me that, I'm like, you know what? I wouldn't even want to spit on you because I just feel like that's the lowest thing you can ever go. Like, you've just gave yourself a bad name by doing that. You know what I mean?
But you made a very good point when you said they're just taking.
Yeah.
Just taking your value, where in every relationship, even if you might disagree with it, there's a transaction of value.
Yeah.
Right? And we need to be able to build good relationships with other people in terms of being able to support each other in order to grow. And if you're around someone that's always just taking from you, they're not really your friends. They don't really have your back.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of finding the right people that can stick with you through thick and thin. And that's usually through a small circle sometimes, where we need to be around those people to support us in our journey.
Yeah.
With that small circle is where we're going to help us thrive as individuals. Like, I know from personal experience, having friends, it helped me to get to where I need to go in terms of being an athlete.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming you would have had similar experiences as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes you just have to distance yourself from people, and in a way, like, you're not distancing them because they're bad people.
Yeah.
They're just doing things that don't align with your journey. Right, so that's what I had to do. I'd move away. Good friends, but different parts of life. And I also agree with it's the same as a sport or being a good father, dad, uncle, and whatnot. To lead by example and teach kids hard, good work ethic and all that stuff.
But do you feel that the school system is failing our kids? Because I don't feel that the school system is teaching us or our kids ethics, teaching the kids to work hard, fight for your dream. I feel that the school system has failed the future generation.
I just think there's too much extra non-needed stuff that's filtering around schools that take the focus away from actual getting work done. I also think, and I always have, the kids shouldn't, when they finish school, that's their time to get outdoors and run, especially this day and age, right, where it's already having an issue. Don't make them sit down and do homework. Give them more time outdoors to teach them at school. Get the work done at school. They shouldn't have to go home and do it. For me, it comes across a little lazy. It's like, oh, well, then now it's on your parents. And the parents just finish work, right? They want to relax too. They don't want to have to kind of now deal with, oh, have you done your homework? No, you shouldn't have to do it. I don't agree with that. That's their time.
Okay.
It's kind of interesting too that you mentioned the school system, where I find a lot of parents nowadays that don't want to get in part of the education system. So a lot of them go homeschooling now in terms of being able to know what to educate their children so they don't get corrupted in terms of what other people's beliefs are. And I think there's going to be a big twist in the future when it comes to homeschooling.
Like the old school mentality, like homework and whatnot, that was basically created in simpler times. When the stresses of society weren't as prevalent. Like cost of living wasn't as bad. You could have one parent working.
That's right.
So but now it's already a stressful environment.
True.
You got to come back and, homework and blah, blah, blah. And all they want to do is sit in their phone. Let them run. Let them go
100%.
do stuff.
Do
Play
sports and all that.
Get outdoors.
But you're talking about school system and that. What I found interesting also, right, is that a lot of family are sending their kids overseas for education, right? I didn't know this at first, but the more I look into it and from an experience of the people I talk to, these kids, do you think that is the right decision for the parents to send their kids, 15 and 16-year-old, overseas to Australia to study uni by themselves? What's your feedback on that? Before I tell you what I think, what do you think of that?
I think it's a great idea if you send them to a country that's really based on culture, that has a very cultural background that's not... Like you send them to America, they're not going to learn nothing, right? They're just going to fall into that party scene. But you throw them to somewhere... like Japan or somewhere kind of real that doesn't have a massive party scene where they can actually, their brain can grow. And then once they get that whole, hey, there's a lot of the world out there, it does. Like the best thing I ever did was travel.
I 100% agree with that. Like from experiencing a lot of travel, and there's great places that have a great education system. Like, for example, Norway or Germany, where you are educated at the highest level and you're going to get a lot out of the courses. But nowadays, in the certain areas of where you can travel in the Western society, can be quite dangerous in terms of the education system.
So it's interesting you both saying that. Obviously you two look at it from a positive side, which I thought was too, until I ran into two international students. One of them was they were sent over here when they were 16 years old. So all their families overseas, they're here. And they were at a point where they want to commit suicide because they were struggling. They were struggling because they live here on their own. They were struggling because of education. They were struggling to fit in. And then she said to me, one night I came back from uni. I was working, trying to make a living. I was lonely. I had nothing to do. I had no one. And then I was drinking some wine. And then I just want to call it quit. And then another international student I met, similar story. Instead of coming here to Australia to do a good system of education, they went opposite. Drugs, gangs, prostitution, all that. And this is the dark side of sending your child overseas on their own without the love or support.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, I never thought of that way. I thought that as a parent, they're sending the kids out of love for education, experience, and to a country. But then some are broken from that. I didn't realize that.
And it all feeds back to the lack of social interaction.
Correct.
If you got to, that they have to know that. Like
Yeah.
some people can do it. Me, I love it.
Yeah.
Throw me in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
I'll network and I'll make friends like that.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, especially
can't.
these generations, you throw somebody in
Oh my
in a different
gosh.
suburb and you don't have that interaction.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to panic. It's not taught. It's about being street smart, and
That's
they've
right.
lost that.
They don't have that.
I
street
agree.
cred.
Common sense is no
Yeah.
longer common.
That's right.
And street smart it's not. It's
not
all
there.
social media smart.
Yes,
You
yes,
know,
yes,
like it's
correct.
not real smart.
It's about, I've got 10,000 followers. I've
Yeah.
got 20, 30 people like my post. Oh, that's, to them, is street smart.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly.
But the truth matter, street smart is actually out there on the road, out there in the real world, and to learn and cope with what's up there, not on the social media. So
Yeah.
that's the biggest issue
the
for us.
generations now would find it very tough. You throw them in like a different country with a language barrier, just to add to the stress. Like, I think it's a great idea if they're built up to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And I feel another big thing as well, like you're saying about communication, is also the international fees because of the influx that's happening in Australia.
Yeah.
Where a lot of uni students from recent conversations are struggling because of that. The amount of money they have to spend each semester.
A lot of money.
It's a lot compared to, especially you being an international student. You're working 2 or 3 jobs, and like you said, some even going to prostitution or being strippers just to be able to support themselves while they're studying here.
Which leads to a whole nother can of worms.
Yeah,
right? Like,
that's right. That's another can of
again,
worms.
it's just, there's too much stress, like too much expectation, too much stress.
Yeah.
Just got to find a way of simplifying it, which is very tough these days,
It's bloody shocking, mate. It's shocking.
Again,
but
figure out what doesn't work for you and then try and find ways around what does.
yeah,
Until it doesn't, then you
100%.
move on again.
that's true. That's true.
100%.
So you're okay now to move on in your life?
Oh, dude, I'm forever moving on.
Yeah. So now you actually decided to leave New South Wales.
Yeah, man. Just I'm one of those people that's kind of always wanting to. There's always something more.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean I forget about the other things.
Yeah,
it just
yeah.
means that I'm constantly driven, which
Yeah.
is a blessing and a curse because you never really kind of find actual
Home.
peace when you succeed majorly.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh well, what's the next thing? But again, that's a blessing and a curse. That
blessing.
never content mentality is kind of, it does keep you moving forward.
Yeah. It's
You
funny.
know?
It's funny. For me, it's opposite. I like a base. I'm like a bird that flies off everywhere, but I want to come back to my base. I hate it when my base is moved.
Yeah.
I find it weird. So I can go here, go there. That's fine. I can go for weeks on end, but knowing me back, I've got a base to go to home. Like a bird, it flies everywhere, goes back to its nest. Whereas
Okay.
you're the opposite. You're happy to leave your nest and just go and make your nest somewhere else.
You're like an Asian pigeon.
A homing pigeon. A homeboy pigeon.
Oh, you're gangster.
That's a
Yeah, what about you, Justin? What's your thoughts?
on moving out.
Yeah, in terms of like fitting in and trying to fight for your dreams and all that. But sometimes you gotta.
It's necessary sometimes.
Yeah.
And if you are willing to put in the hard work, like yourself, it takes sometimes about 5 to 10 years to be able to succeed in something.
Yeah.
So you have to be willing to be able to make those sacrifices to make your dreams happen.
True.
And later down the line, you see those people that lived away from, let's say, their family for 10 years. You see them eventually go back, or they bring their parents to them or their family to them.
Yeah.
Just so they have that safe space with their family and they can live their last moments with their family. And I think that's a big thing where I know about you, I'm a big family man. I love spending time with my parents, my siblings, and everyone that I can, because you never know when the last time you ever see them.
That's a valid point.
Yeah.
You don't have a big family, do you?
Yes, but here in Sydney, not really, but
Yeah.
overseas, I do.
Okay. Folks, you are tuning in with 3 Close Up 89.3 FM. It's Friday. YB meeting. Shake your booty. Let's get the stars on 45. And we'll be right back after this. Tuning in with the 3 Quirks and a Turk at 89.3 FM, mate. Justin and Nathan, you guys were shaking your booty with that song, right? You're shaking it, you're enjoying your
Absolutely.
Friday.
You know it.
Hey, you enjoying your Friday, boys?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Now, how important is it, guys, to focus on men's health?
I think it's everything. You
Yeah.
need to be able to focus on yourself, and a lot of people nowadays don't tend to do that.
Yeah.
Like we were speaking about earlier about social media, a lot of people are spending most of their time on social media, and they're not really looking after themselves in terms of their nutrition, exercise, and putting themselves out there and communicating with other people.
Okay, okay, that's interesting.
Yep, absolutely.
And you think we need to talk more? We need to sit together and sing lullaby and have a chat to each other more than not talking to each other?
I think another big thing that we need to be able to express how we feel as well, where we tend to have that old men type of mentality where we have to hold it to ourselves and not share our emotions. And I know it's like how our parents were raised in a way, or especially our dads or great grandfathers, where we really never got to express ourselves.
Can I say, mate, I love your new hairstyle, by the way.
Thank you so much.
I love hairstyle, Nathan. Mate, I love the tats there, bro. It just looks so groovy.
Chad, you want a hug? You want a hug?
And,
I'll hug it out.
And you've got like the tan, mate. You look like you got that Brisbane tan. Yeah.
It is hotter. It is hotter.
It is hotter. You know, it's hotter.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you on 100%. And I guess that's the reason why I was talking to a CEO from Lifeline, right? And she was saying that men commit suicide more because we tend not to talk about our problem. We tend to hold everything inside of us, and then, like you're saying, we turn to the bottle or whatever, and then that's where we go downhill. So, if anything, like we men, we need to speak up, we need to stick together, and we need to check up on our mates. And that's our part, because we know the girls do that all the time. They just bloody ring up, they talk to each other, day in, day out. We don't. And that's got to change, right? We've got to get that message out there, right?
Yeah, definitely. I 100% agree that when it comes to like old school way of life, right? Like the way you disassociated was, you went down the pub with the boys, right?
Yeah.
Now, and it's happening a lot, especially with groups and whatnot, we're creating positive forms of disassociation.
Yeah.
You know, you meet up with the boys for a walk. So we got one down in Cronulla. There's a whole bunch down by the beach, and all the way, like everywhere, right? But it's more of a positive thing. You wake up early, you meet up, you have a chat. Right? Instead of going, I'm having a tough day, let's go get smashed. Yeah. It gets you nowhere. It puts you back, you know. So if you have that, again, so if you create in your life positive ways of disassociating, so for us, sport, right?
Absolutely.
I'm having a bad day, I'll go to the gym, I'll go run, I'll wear myself out, and then all of a sudden, no, it's not that bad, right? And if you, so another form of that, and something that I incorporated in my life, is always making sure I sit on a positive baseline.
Okay.
Right? You sit on a positive baseline, toxin-free, happy, you know, healthy, plenty of sleep. When something happens, you can deal with it. Like, say you pop your tyre on the highway, right? When you're on a positive baseline, no worries, I'll just call NRMA. NRMA will be fine, right?
But how can you be positive lying all the time? Because you will get people around you, a bunch of douchebag who will push you to the limit.
Yeah,
so
but
you can never be that positive.
If you're staying healthy, right?
Yeah.
You will stay on that positive.
Okay.
You can. I'm talking physically. Mentally, it's always tougher, but it helps.
Yeah.
If, say, you're in a negative baseline, say you're hungover, you drink every night, you're at that point.
Okay.
Your tyre pops on the highway, you're like, F the world, this is, you know, I can't catch a break, you know, you go down further. But if you're nice and positive, level-headed, I'm saying as a rule of thumb, it's not always, you know, straight black and white, right? But it 100%, it helps me. If I'm feeling bad or I'm doing stuff that doesn't align with my journey, when things go wrong, they're all the way down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know?
I agree with that 100% because, like, exactly what you said, being in a physical playing field, and they've done studies on it, the quickest way to change is through our physiology. If you're jumping around with your hands in the air and you're depressed, are you going to be depressed for long?
No.
No, you're going to be in a good mood. So the quicker you can change your physiology, the quicker you can get out of depression as well. But there's something interesting that I've heard on a podcast a while ago, and I know this from personal experience. When men need to speak about their problems, we tend to do it while we're walking, running, or when we're driving, when we're not really making the proper eye contact with the person we're speaking to.
Oh, that's interesting. Facts.
Yeah. It is.
That's an interesting fact.
I don't know why we're like that, but it's something we can definitely dive into in the future.
So you're saying that they would prefer to talk on the phone?
Yeah, maybe while they're walking.
Or they're walking without making
Or,
eye contact?
Like meeting up with a person and just walking with them and talking and not having that much engagement in terms of eye contact.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like if you're actually walking, you kind of taking your mind off it, and things will just flow easy instead of sitting down and overthinking what you're saying. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Then you start. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's the first time I've heard of that.
I like it.
That's the first time I've heard of that. So there must be some truth to that, right?
Yeah, I just know from personal experience,
Yeah.
when I needed to express myself, it was always through the form of that.
Yeah.
If I was driving or if I was walking with a friend, it was a better way. Like you said, I was able to register so many different things because I like to look at different places when I'm thinking, and I'm able to gather my thoughts.
Yeah.
And say the right things that's on my mind and what's in my heart.
Yeah, and if you're around people that are there for the same reasons, you feel more comfortable, right? Like I've actually just had to deal with this through the surgery and whatnot. There's been times when I've just, like in Queensland, you just want to talk with someone outside of your groups, like your men's mental health groups or just your mates you play sport with. Most people that aren't in that aren't equipped
To deal
to
with
be able
that.
to deal with it, right?
Yeah.
They'll either go, oh, you just do this. They panic. So you've really got to pick and choose who you do open up to and who you do talk to.
Yeah.
And it is better in a group environment because all it takes is one guy to open up and you're like, okay, yeah, now you feel, instead of just having to force it and then it land on deaf ears, then you start double guessing, I'm not talking to anyone anymore.
So I guess you'll be vulnerable, right, guys? I mean, for us guys, it's very hard to be vulnerable sometimes.
It's full strength.
You know,
Absolute
it's
strength.
very hard if someone sit there and say, look, opening up to someone and say, look, I've actually got a problem and these are my problem. Can you help me? I can't imagine a lot of guys will do that.
No, to be vulnerable for me shows total strength.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, as I said, most people aren't equipped to be able to deal
That's
with
right.
that. So that's why you got to pick and choose who you do, because once bitten, twice shy. Like if you open up and then somebody either judges you for
Yep,
it or
that's
belittles you or just say, stop being a pussy.
Then you're done. You won't open up.
How readily are you going to do it again?
Hell no.
No, you're not
No,
going to
you
put
won't.
yourself through that
No.
emotional trauma.
That's correct. That's correct.
Do you
That's
believe we have to be in the right phase in our life in order to be able to open up with that right person? Otherwise, like you said, we're going to be judged for it.
Yeah.
I do. Sometimes for a lot of people, they have to hit rock bottom to be able to come up from it.
Yeah.
If you don't, then it's always, I'll just fix it, I'll be fine. But again, being in that group situation, you might not realise you have a problem until somebody else says, hey, this is what I do, I've got a problem, this is what... And you're like, oh, shit, I can resonate with that.
Yeah.
Maybe I do. Okay, cool. Well, then you can actually... It's all about identifying, getting help, then helping others.
Okay.
It's quite interesting. I've read a lot of books over my time about like mindset. The number one thing that every book had in common is you need to have self-awareness. If you don't have that self-awareness on you, that you're depressed or you're anxious, it's going to be hard for you to change.
So you need to know. You need to know emotionally what stage you are at the moment.
Yes,
If
exactly.
you can't recognize that, how
Some
are you
people
going to
don't.
help yourself?
That's the thing. People go out drinking and they avoid that fact they have a problem. And I've seen it with people that I knew that went through similar struggles until one day they, like you said, hit rock bottom and they realize, oh, shoot, I have a problem. I'm drinking myself to oblivion and I'm starting to build problems. Like I had a friend who had a pancreas problem and he ended up in hospital.
Wow.
And
that's not from drinking though, right?
From drinking, but he had other issues in his traumatic history through his childhood that kind of built up over time. Until the point, he started like drinking and going down a dark rabbit hole to the point he went to hospital, realized he had a problem with a near-death experience in order for him to change when he started going to rehab.
Wow. Sometimes health hits you first, then you realize, okay, I've got to change. But you want to avoid that. You actually want to change before you get to that stage. A friend of mine recently also was in hospital for 3 months. He's got something called leukemia, something where your cell attacking...
Lymphoma?
That's it. It's attacking itself.
That's a guess.
It was a good guess.
Look that.
That's a good guess. But it's attacking itself inside. So it can't tell between the white cell and the red cell, the good cell and the bad cell. It just attacks everything. So he was hospital for 3-4 months. I went in and visited him. He lost like 20 kilo. He looks like an old man.
Yeah.
Wow.
But then now he's recovering. So it goes to show, like, you know, like you just don't know. You don't. But he didn't tell no one about it until it was too late.
Yeah. So I think, well, I definitely know there's the percentages of suicide is so much higher, like astronomically higher.
Oh, yeah.
For people that keep it bottled up, you know, that have this fake facade, but don't open up. They might tiptoe around opening up, but it falls on deaf ears. People that actually get it all out in a safe space are more likely to recover. Because now you know you can do it. If you keep it bottled up and go, "No, I'll be sweet," you got that stubborn mindset. Then you're going to be fighting demons for the rest of your life till you get it out.
For sure.
I can relate to that 100% because I was on that path.
Same.
You probably have as well, and like it's dark when you're in that path and you have that thoughts of suicide, and when you're driving you're thinking about just going to the wrong side of the road and just ending it all.
It's that spiral, dude. Like if you're not around positivity, then you know, then it's easy to not find it.
That's right.
You know, like and it is the easy option.
Look, at the end of the day, I'm very fortunate in the sense that I've always been surrounded myself with good people, and I think I'm quite streetwise to pick out who are good people. Because I don't like trash in my life, you know what I mean? Because the more trash you have in your life, the more complication it is. And an issue with these people, they're so negative, like you're saying, Nathan. They're so negative. So everything is so negative. They drag you into their problem, so therefore you become negative as well.
Well, you end up being a product of your environment.
Correct.
That's
and
true.
You have to change yourself by changing your situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
agree.
Changing your scenery. You can't. There's another. You can't change yourself by changing scenery completely.
No, that's
you
right.
can change your mindset. Everything else will feed off a positive mindset.
Yeah. So you would rather have one good friend than say 10 or 15 friends who are not even there. And that's nothing. Also, what I've noticed people, right, is that they go, "I've got 2,000 friends on social media." Are they really your friend?
No.
Yeah.
Are they your friend? You know.
I created a system for myself where I label people. Like I have my, obviously, the person I'm dating.
Yeah.
Then I have close friends. Then just like hi and bye friends. And then I have associates. And then just like strangers on the outside.
Okay.
I felt creating that system for me helped me to know who's important in my life and who's not so important.
Yeah, so Nathan and I, we're down the bottom list, mate. We're not that important to Justin's life. we're like
I don't know
beyond
about you,
acquaintance, man. We're like beyond acquaintance, bro. We're like, who are you?
Speak for yourself, mate.
But-
we're bros.
but that's a valid point, though. That's a valid point, because otherwise you mix them all together and you're wasting so much time.
Yes.
Yeah, that social, that friendship boundaries.
Yeah.
You got to set those boundaries,
Correct.
right? Because who do you want to put more mental energy onto? If you try again, like when you're younger, you want to be friends with everyone.
That's
Guess
correct.
what? You spread your kindness
Yeah.
so thin
That's right.
that there's not much of it left for yourself, right?
That's
so that's
right.
why they say the older you get, the smaller your group of friends
It's
is.
true.
So then you can channel all that energy, positive energy, into your partner and your close mates.
Yeah.
Anyone that comes in, hey man, you just be nice.
Yeah.
Treat people the way you want to be treated. But that's as
Acquaintance.
far as you're getting.
Acquaintance.
I agree.
Yeah. Right.
Right. That's interesting. So what are you guys doing this weekend? We've got a few more minutes. We're done. So what are you doing this weekend, Nathan?
I'm going back up to the Goldie, bud. I'll
Goldie,
fly out
huh?
tomorrow, go watch the kids play sport tomorrow morning, and then, I'll fly back up at 8 o'clock.
You got family up there?
No.
No? Jeez, man. Yourself, mate? What are you up to?
Okay, so I've first off tomorrow morning I'll be coaching, followed by a podcast episode, and on Sunday obviously going to church.
Yes,
because I really value that in my life now.
Good.
And I felt faith has helped me evolve as a human being.
No, awesome. I respect that. I go to church. Sometimes what I found interesting, right, is that you get to a certain point in your life where your friends are not there. And I found that by going to church once in a while, I sit there and I talk. I talk to the man upstairs. I say, look, this is what's happening. This is happening. For some reason, when I leave church, I feel at ease.
Well, yeah,
I feel at ease.
You're opening up
Yeah.
without talking. You're getting it, still getting it out.
Correct.
Right? Like,
Correct.
without it being another physical person.
Yeah.
And it says in the scripture, if you place your burdens and your anxieties upon me because my yoke is at ease, my burden is light, and your heart will be pretty much like at ease where you're at peace, right?
That's true.
And I, like you, felt at peace, and I feel like I don't have to seek that validation of other people.
No.
I am happy being me, and that's all I can be, right?
Yeah.
Be the best version of yourself.
Exactly.
And that, doing that takes that internal burden and keeps it not bottled up.
Yeah.
100%.
Getting it out temporarily, but constantly. It doesn't bubble over and then, something bad happens, right?
That's it.
And that's the challenge, isn't it? It's trying to have a balance. You don't have anyone. Make sure there's Lifeline. There's a few other agencies out there. Make sure you reach out and talk to them, because it's so important that at the end of the day, there is someone out there to help you as well, right?
Yep. You are loved.
That's
you are
it.
good enough. You are enough.
That's it. All right, folks, you are tuning in with 3 Quirks to 89.3 FM. Boys, thank you so much for being here with us. A fantastic conversation.
Thanks, mate.
We're going to have a chat more in the future about being self and all that, but take care. Be safe, be good. Catch up you same time, same place next week. And this DJ Khalil, I am the one.